Rise and Energize Her Morning Show is brought to you by Mogul TV Global Network, the #1 streaming TV network for positive programming in the Mid-Atlantic. To learn how you can energize your business and brand with media, visit www.themogulchannel.com.
Stop playing small, it's your time to rise. Climbing to heights that you once denied. Own your power, light up the sky. This is your moment, no need to hide. Stop playing smurfs, let your spirit roar. Open your wings and show the world more. No turning back, you're ready to soar. Stop playing small, what are you waiting for? Make your move.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Affirmative Action. We hope that your new year has been great so far. We are 20 plus days into the new year, and January has been booming. So in the next few episodes, this new year, this new start, we're going to be covering things all about the workplace, knowing your rights in the workplace, knowing your rights on the streets, knowing your rights in the grocery store, knowing your rights if you're renting, if you're home owning, just a gamut and plethora of a buffet of knowing your rights. So we're going to start our series off at the end of January, all through February, talking about knowing your rights. So of course, one of my specialties is knowing your rights in the workplace. So one thing that we're going to start off and encouraging everyone to do is to go ahead, and if you haven't done it, go and review that employee handbook, that handbook that you got many, many moons ago when you first took the job. Excited about the paycheck, excited about the opportunity, signing all of the documents, and then never going back to revisit it. So what I encourage people to do as an employee where you have no issues, no problems, everything is happy-go-lucky, that is the time to review, understanding, and knowing your employee handbooks. That is the first start, or one of the first bases to knowing what you signed up for and what your employer can and cannot do. So for the remaining days in the month of January, we're giving everyone the challenge of knowing your employee handbook. Go through that handbook from top to bottom. Some of the major topics that often come up in the labor area or labor sector of the law is, what do I do when I need MFLA? Right? I need to go out on leave, maternity leave, bereavement, all different types of leave. Knowing your rights, what can and cannot happen to you or your position while you're on FMLA. Can your employer contact you? Can you still be working? Can you lose your job? Can your position be taken away? Another thing is, what cannot do in regards to attendance. Know your employer's attendance policy. Know your employer's policy when it comes to misconduct and the punishment or levels of punishment that may come into play if you have been accused or you've been tagged with misconduct. Can you get immediately fired? Should there be a write-up? Is there progression of penalties, meaning that, hey, with this type of offense, the first thing should not be termination. There should be some type of warning. That is not always the case. So learning and understanding your levels of punishment or levels of admonishment or levels of termination. So those are some of the things that we're going to be covering for the next 4 weeks or so, or rather 4 episodes or so, just talking about knowing your rights in different arenas and different areas of life. And again, I will be bringing on speakers over the next 4 weeks, talking about rights when it comes to encountering law enforcement, talking about rights when it comes to being a tenant, talking about rights when it comes to different things as far as buying a car, certain types of insurance, if you buy a car and it breaks down, and what are your rights. So we're just going to cover a plethora of laws in knowing your rights. But for me, you're always going to hear from me on the level of knowing your rights in the area of employment. And so your challenge for the next week or before the next episode is go and read that handbook. Go read your employer's handbook, understand your rights, understand how your organization operates, understand your grievance procedure, understand the reporting procedure in the organization, in the agency, in the field, wherever you are working. Understand all of those things before an issue happens, or if you see an issue happening, you won't be trying to learn procedure at the same time as pursuing protocols or pursuing reporting. And then we're going to get into some legal things that govern most states. As you guys know, I am an attorney here in Virginia. I'm licensed in Virginia. However, I have a arsenal of attorneys in various other states who, if you have a question that I can't answer, I can definitely lead you to someone who likely can assist you in whatever your legal needs may be. So again, the next couple of episodes, we are going to be covering multiple areas, multiple topics of where you should and how you can understand, know your rights, and not just knowing, but know how to implement your rights when or if a situation comes. We hope that everybody's workplace is just perfect and you never have to have any type of employment issues. However, unfortunately, that is not always the case. And so we want people to be prepared and understand and knowing their rights. So again, I know I'm being repetitive, but again, for the next 4 weeks, next 4 episodes, we're going to be talking about knowing your rights. But for your homework or your assignment today, I'm encouraging everyone to go pull out that employee handbook that you signed off on or that was given to you when you were first hired, and also look for any updates. There are protocols and procedures that are supposed to take place when an employer makes changes to the handbook. Have you had an update? Do you know what the updates are? Has there been change in protocol for reporting? Has there been change in issues with attendance? Have there been change with issues on PITs, improvement plans? Has there been changes in merit raises or merit increases, evaluations, cost of living adjustments? Has there been any changes that you may not be aware of because you have not revisited your employer handbook in a long time? So again, go ahead and revisit that handbook. And then contact us if you have any questions. And if I can't help you personally, we will lead you in the right direction for you to get help. So again, get ready, get your pens, get your paper, stay tuned in. Over the next 4 weeks, we're going to be covering knowing your rights. I hope everyone is off to a great start of this new year of 2025. And we hope to give you some encouragement, some enlightenment, some education, and things that can just help you be better in all areas of life, the workplace, the grocery store, in the streets, in your home, encountering the legal system, whatever it is. We want you to be educated, prepared, and have the knowledge to know your rights. Be blessed, everybody, and have a great day.
Good morning, girl. Get up and wash your face, where we focus not just on transforming from pain, but we're focusing on the place of healing. We're focusing on the good news, the victories, the progress that you've made, and the hope that comes with healing. I want you to ask yourself, do you need a vision check? Can you see clearly on today? And I'm not just talking about the physical eye, but I'm talking about that spiritual eye, where sometimes we have to write the vision and we have to make it plain. Today, I want to talk about setting those realistic goals, those faith-filled goals
for 2025. And of course, you know, I always say for the first 3 months, we just want to focus on those short-term goals so that we can make it more attainable, more realistic. And then at the end, I want to talk about vision boards, because that is a big thing. It's been going on for years, and you may be planning your own vision board party for 2025. But the first thing I want to talk about is the importance of your words. The importance of speaking life over your dreams is so important. And so as I think about my words as an author, I'm a writer. I write words. It first starts in my mind, and then I write it on paper. And I remember as a little girl, it was prophesied to me that my writing is prophetic. And so I started out writing books. I was writing about fictional characters and telling my story using these fictional characters. My first book, Because He Loves Me, is about domestic violence. It was, of course, inspired by my own life and how God delivered me from a very toxic and abusive relationship. But I use these fictional characters to tell a story because I felt like more people would be able to relate, not just to Dana, but this character, Deanna, who started out as a young lady who was a single mom, and she was just looking for her love, her Prince Charming, her Boaz. And as I wrote this story, so many people were able to come to me and give their testimony of how God healed them, or looking for an opportunity for me to be able to speak and minister into their lives of how God can help deliver them from a toxic relationship they were in. So my writing became ministry, and it started right here in my head, but also as they were words on paper, I want you to think about the words that come out of your mouth. So whether you want to focus on words that come out of your mouth or words on paper, words really do have power. Words create reality. Whatever you read, it's real to you, whether it's fictional in the moment or whether it's nonfiction. So what you say really does influence how you think about other people, and how you think does determine your actions. I want you to think about that, okay? So when you speak life over your dreams, I want you to align your mindset with possibility and with growth. Negative self-talk creates these barriers, but positive affirmations is going to build bridges to your goals. Why am I saying this? Because as you are thinking about your goals for 2025, this first quarter of the year, I want you to begin to change the way that you talk. But in order to change the way that you talk, you have to change the way that you think. Okay, you see how that works? The way we think is the way we speak. And then our words become actions. Proverbs 18:21 reminds us that death and life are in the power of the tongue. Your words have the power to either fuel your dreams or strike them. And we know that words are powerful. So if you say, I'm never going to be able to do that, my life sucks, I'm ugly, then guess what? You are all those things, because that is what you are speaking and manifesting into your own life. I heard this from several people who says that the devil hears your words. God hears our thoughts. So if the devil hears our words, that means that a lot of the things that you are speaking, yes, we may be speaking it to ourselves, but guess who else is listening to the words that are coming out of our mouth? The devil is listening. And we wonder why we experience the attacks that we are experiencing, because we have spoken into the atmosphere, and the devil sends his minions and his demons out to make sure every negative word that you have spoken comes to pass. So let's change the way that we think in order to change the way that we speak, to change those words that are floating into the atmosphere. And so we can do that by changing and creating a list of affirmations tied to your dreams, tied to your life, tied to your reality. I give you some examples. I am capable of achieving my goals. God has equipped me for my purpose. You hear that? That's creating something real for me. And if I focus on those words that God is equipping me for my purpose, what does that mean? That God is going to provide my every need, my resources financially. He's going to give me the space to do these things. He's going to connect me to the right people. And it begins to create this long list of new opportunities that I did not see, but now I see it because I can hear it first. And if I can hear it, then I can begin to see it. So let's talk about seeing those things, that visualization. I mentioned vision boards earlier because I want to challenge you all to even have a vision board party. It can be a virtual vision party, a board party, or it could be an in-person one with your closest family and friends. But as you do this, I want you to think about a vision board being powerful. It's more than just a collage of pictures because it's really a tool for visualization. It's going to be able to help you visualize your goals, focus your energy, and manifesting your dreams on the right things that God has for you. It's giving you the physical outlet that you need to put it on paper, giving you something tangible, because some of us need something tangible in order to believe it or even change the way that we think. And so we want to activate that subconscious mind to rewire our brain and focus on what we truly want to see. And I remember when I first started doing vision boards, and I remember putting the vacation spots that I wanted to go to, the money that I wanted to be in my bank accounts, to see the increase and to put my business up there. And most of those things, I'm walking in my truth. But sometimes we can get a little content with what we get and we forget what we need to continue to do in life, and which is to continue to speak life over our dreams, right? So it's not a one and done, but we got to keep going. But also every year creating new goals, or if we kind of like tap into some of our goals, what's the next step? So thinking about those action steps. And so while visualization is powerful, action is the key to success. You got to show up. You got to make movement. You got to take those action steps, because the vision board is going to inspire you to take the steps that's needed towards those goals. So I believe in you. Do you believe in yourself? Say it out loud. I believe in me. So girl, get up and wash your face and thank God that you get another opportunity to rise, reclaim, and renew your strength. I'll see you next time.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Healthy Chats. It's your girl, Carleeka Basnight-Menendez. Yes, all of that. And on today, I want to talk about, have you been a boundary breaker? Ooh, okay. So let's dive on into this healthy, positive conversation. A lot of times we create boundaries and we are the ones that break them. You remember that boundary you set, I don't know, last week, 6 months ago, at the beginning of the year? And clearly you broke the boundary. So today I want to give you 3 steps, or 3 ways rather. Create positive boundaries. And then don't be a boundary breaker of the boundaries that you set for other people. Because if you don't respect the boundaries, no one else will. So 1, communicate clearly. How many times have we communicated what we really want, what we really need at the time and season in our life? Or have we been the people that assume that people should just know? Like, you should know what I felt when you said that. Or you should have known that I didn't like that. Or you should have, how many of us, I'm guilty of it, right? So learning to communicate clearly, learning to communicate your needs, learning to communicate the support that you need in this season, time and space in your life. Knowing your limits. A lot of times we exert ourselves way past our limits. The only person we taking the limits off is our daddy, God. Take the limits off of him. But ourselves, we are limited beings. We're not designed to keep going and going. We are not the Energizer Bunny, okay? You are not Superwoman or Superman. So you cannot save everyone, and everyone's problem is not your problem. So quit making it. So communicate clearly. This in turn will help prevent misunderstandings. Have you ever been misunderstood? Right? And then it helps you to set the expectations for mutual respect. So now that both parties, or all parties, I'll use my own household. So we came up with a system. Once I figured out by having a conversation, who likes to do what? Not that everyone couldn't do it, but okay, is washing dishes your favorite? Vacuuming your favorite? Mopping and cleaning the bathrooms your favorite thing to do? So then we came up with a system through clear communication where all of us can take part, since all of us live in the home, and everyone can do their part. Now with this one doing their part and this one doing their part and I'm doing my part, now the whole house is clean. And no one is frustrated, no one is complaining, and no one is upset. But we had to create clear boundaries. Now, that was a while ago, okay? Now, everyone is able to do whatever they need to do. So that was a while ago, but that is a system that did work for us. I don't know what your household is like, but whatever your system and whatever you can come up with, just communicate it clearly. And this communication goes for relationships, goes for the workplace, goes for in church, wherever you are, you have a responsibility to communicate clearly. The second thing, prioritize your self-care. Self-care is not just a weekend thing, right? It is a daily, everyday thing. And when we really prioritize our self-care, what we're really saying is that I value my personal time. I value myself enough that in order for me to show up daily in whatever facet that may be, I need to prioritize myself. How many times are we guilty of saying yes to so many things, and then we find ourselves depleted? We find ourselves exhausted. We find ourselves fatigued because we went there, we did this, we did that, we backed up, we went forward, we went to the side, and now we're exhausted and we're like, oh my gosh, I can't function. I feel delusional, right? All of the things. So dedicate time to things that you love. I guarantee if I asked you, what is it that you love to do? This is going to help you nourish your well-being. Why? Because your well-being, your health, your desires, they're important. So when you value your own personal time, then you're able to communicate clearly. You're able to reinforce your boundaries and not be a boundary breaker. And in turn, you protect your mental and emotional well-being. Isn't that good or what? Protect your well-being. I'm not talking about build walls, because there's some walls that need to be just knocked down in our lives. I'm not saying build walls. I'm saying build boundaries that continuously feed you. Building boundaries that's going to edify, building boundaries that's going to keep you stable and sane and all of the things. The last thing, and we're almost finished, learn to say no. Woo! I know that's hard for so many people. And especially when it comes to loved ones and people that are very close to you, saying no to that birthday party, saying no to that concert, saying no to that event, saying no to people coming over, just saying no to hanging out. Sometimes we have to say no. Just practice it. No. 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 And not even coming up with an excuse like, no, I have this to do. No just may be like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't have the capacity to do it, right? So practice declining requests, even from your bank account. Say no. So that you don't overextend yourself, right? I think all of us probably at some point are guilty of just saying yes. Like if that was a Christmas song in itself, if that was a rap song in itself, right? Your name and possibly my name might be next to it. So nevertheless, practice saying no, practice declining requests, practice declining invitations, right? Just so you don't compromise your boundaries. You don't want to be the boundary breaker, because as soon as you start breaking them, those are the things that people remember. And then they're like, oh, well, she don't even respect her own boundaries, and he doesn't respect his own boundaries. So we have to respect them, and then we teach other people to respect them. And so saying no when necessary is crucial for maintaining balance and preventing burnout. Some of us get burnt out because we say yes to everything and yes to everyone and yes to going to everywhere. This is your season to say no, and it's okay. And you don't even have to have an explanation. So let's recap really, really quickly, right? Ways to creating positive boundaries. 1, communicate clearly. You have a responsibility to communicate for yourself and speak up for yourself. You know your body, you know your mental capacity, and it's your responsibility. 2, prioritize your self-care. It matters, and it's not just a weekend thing. It's a daily thing. So make it daily. Do something that you love to do. Go somewhere that you love to go. And if you don't know, then I need you to get a notebook and start writing down and get back to the things that you love that are near and dear to your heart. Lastly, learn to say no. All right, you all. Until the next time, I'm your girl, Carleeka Basnight-Menendez. And yes, my answer is no. Okay? Take care. Be blessed.